Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to the single player world once again, where last episode we built up our brand new nether base, as you can see behind me. But this episode is off to a little bit of a rocky start, shall we say. I've actually had to scrap around 8 hours worth of work, so let me explain what went wrong. The first thing we did was set up a haste 2 beacon with the beam coming directly in the center of our piglin bartering farm, which looks awesome if I do say so myself. And I don't know if this is a new feature or just something I missed in previous updates, but whenever you used to actually step inside of a beacon, you would just have, this in your face, but not anymore. You instead get this like cool wind tunnel effect on all 4 sides, so you can still see everything around you when you're actually in the beacon. So yeah, I can still stand up here on my AFK platform and actually choose to watch the piglins barter away when we have this farm up and running. That's kind of the whole point of it, because it's very satisfying to watch. So yeah, we set that up for the purpose of getting some haste 2. And we set that up so I could build down here at the bottom of our ancient debris mine a Basalt Generator, which apparently has some magma cubes as friends here, so hopefully they leave me alone. Probably not though, they're a pest, these guys. But this is a design from Mango. I don't know how it works, I assume magic, but I'm not sure. You can check out his video if you want to know how to build this, but it's actually super speedy. Let me kill these magma cubes and I can show you how it works. So when you have haste 2 and efficiency 5 on your pickaxe, you can actually instant mine this block. So let's turn it on and I can show you how it works. It does some piston stuff, I don't really know, but you just hold left click in the center here and get an ungodly amount of basalt. More than I could ever need, probably. That is definitely the case now, because I farmed up like 10 double chests worth of the basalt thinking I could make some really good use out of it, because I had plans to build a massive, and I mean massive, basalt volcano, a custom one in the overworld. And basically I tried for like a long time. I got so far into it and I just decided I don't like this build at all. I was just really not happy with how it was turning out, so I scrapped it, tore it all down, and yeah, this is where we are now. So if you know anybody who needs 10 double chests of basalt, please let me know, because I have that and I don't know what to do with it. Now, I may try and tackle that volcano project at a later point in time, but is there a magma cube upstairs? Hang on a second. I think I have a magma. Hello, friend. How are you? You can just stay up there. Yes, as I was saying, I may try and tackle that project at a later point in time, but not today. I don't have time to do it, and as you might have guessed, I am obviously running short on time. But thankfully, there's actually quite a few smaller tasks that I've been meaning to get to recently, so I think today's episode would be a good time to focus on all of those. And the first one requires us to go to the overworld. I feel like we haven't been here in so very long, but it's also not really related to the overworld. It's actually related more so to the nether. I would like to improve the look of our portal over here, because that is not going to do. And fun fact, this is actually, you can see some of the remnants down there, where my volcano was going to go. It was absolutely massive. I really wish it could work, but yeah, we'll have to save it for another day, unfortunately. But yeah, we're going to make this look a lot better. Oh, buddy. How cool does that look right there? There really isn't that great of a vantage point, honestly. The best one is probably just to get up and fly about. But yeah, that's actually like a really simple build, but I think it looks so cool. I love the quartz with the warp stem and then the glow of the obsidian portal itself. So yeah, super simple build, but honestly, I think it's really effective. I would actually like to just wait a couple of minutes though and see what it looks like at nighttime, because I got a feeling it's going to look even more impressive than this right here. Yep, that looks awesome. I love the glow of the end rods there. Let me actually just pause and get to a decent FOV here, and also get out of cinematic camera and get rid of F1. There we go, back to normal. But yeah, I love how this just radiates light all around it, and you know, it's surrounded by darkness except the beacon over there. And my base, by the way, in case you're unsure, the village is over there, which by the way guys, we will be continuing with at some point soon, just not right now. I'm enjoying the 1.16 stuff for the moment. Yeah, the base is over here, but we're not abandoning it, we're just taking a break for right now. But yeah, that looks awesome. The portal actually takes a second to render in, but when it does, my oh my, that's a fun looking build. Time to see if it actually takes me to my base though. That would obviously be helpful. Hello, piglin. Indeed it does. One much smaller task that I've been meaning to do is actually finish my mini nether wart farm over here. So let me quickly replant all of these and see if we can fill it all up. We sure can, with 13 left to spare, so yeah, there's one tiny task all done. That's 2 off the list. The next one should probably be to call the pest removal. I have a little bit of a magma cube situation in my base, but what's new? We're always dealing with these guys at some point or another. But the actual next thing I would like to do, which is again very quickly, at least it should be in theory. Oh, you're not little guy, you're a big guy. I would like to get myself yet another hole in the bedrock. The one I have at the moment is up here. I can just go to this torch, fly directly upwards, and you can see I am out. But just to save myself having to go that little bit extra ways over to here in the corner bit where our portal was originally, I would like to see if there's a bedrock spot somewhere around probably where my portal is, honestly, maybe just in this little bit here that I can fly directly up to. And of course, yeah, gotta be a viable bedrock breaking block. As you can see, the bedrock has been punched, and now there is a easier way out for me, which is actually fairly close by to the portal here. I've just got to step up on this wall so I know where it is every time and fly directly up, which doesn't quite get me to the surface. I thought it would. And I've got a line of torches leading to my gold farm. There's the old hole in the bedrock, so maybe save myself 5 seconds worth of time. Time well spent. But this leads us to the gold farm over here, and if we continue on we get to the hoglin farm. But I now actually need to do something with the gold farm over here. So real quick, because it's going to be very loud, let me just turn it down. This gold farm is very fast when it comes to spawning. What it's not very fast at is the item collection system down here. So I don't know what I'm going to do exactly. I may try and come up with something myself, or I may just copy what Nembom actually did in the original design of this. But time to put my redstone cap on, which doesn't really exist, and I'll try and come up with something that can actually somewhat keep up with the farm above. I attempted to build the sorting system myself, and safe to say it hasn't gone particularly well. So pretty much, I stuck with a similar concept. I'm going to show you what I did so you know not what to do, in case you were looking for something super simple. But I got the same amount of minecart hoppers here. We have 15 in all of these honey blocks, and I actually have pushed them, trying to get a good point here, I guess down here will be fine. I pushed them so that they're over slightly onto this block, meaning we can feed them into 6 hoppers instead of 3. So I thought, well, that surely should make it twice as fast, right? So that sped it up, I think. Not really sure. They don't get stuck at the top as much anymore, which is good. But then I thought, well, maybe I could set up some sort of like dropper system into a cobweb to kind of just like slow the process down so it's not all falling onto these hoppers at once. And I thought it might prevent backlog and clog up. But as you can see, that is not the case. My items are just everywhere down there. So not going to use this thing, but I'll show you One little thing I did do with the observer thing, so I had to like kill all these guys, get them out of the way, flick the lever at the back there, which as you can see this really isn't that helpful. It does the trapdoor and you can hear all of those observers get lined up, so it makes this observer clock going back and forth. The items get chucked out of the droppers there into the cobwebs, and yeah, the thing that it was meant to do was just kind of slow it down and make it less strenuous for the hoppers at the bottom here. But it didn't, and that kind of makes sense, right? I'm sure there's a way I could fix this, but honestly, I tried putting my redstone cap on. I'm instead gonna put my copying cap on and go back to Nembomb's video and then just follow what he did, and it should work wonderfully. Yeah, this is something I should have done when I actually made the farm in the first place. From the little bit of testing I've done already, I can tell it is a million times better. And let me try and explain it to you in very much so layman's terms here. I don't fully understand it, but I'll do my best to tell you what I do understand, basically. So pretty much, this looks a whole lot more complicated than it actually is. I don't really understand the redstone, but the main core concept of it is that all of these minecart hoppers are kind of placed in a little bit of a funky way to distribute the amount of items we get in those 3 hoppers at the top, and they spread them all out into 14 separate hoppers, which allows the farm to actually keep up. They're then put through the dropper, dispensed through the cobweb, again to slow up the drops. It turns out you need more than just placing down cobwebs to make this work. That's where I had my idea from. But then they go into this little contraption which basically pushes them all the way down into one centralized block, which is actually on top of this ender chest over here, and then they are pushed off. And because it's an ender chest, could you guys be quiet up there? The items just kind of fall on the very edge of this block. They are then pushed along the ice here, and this is our sorting system. So all of the gold is filtered through here, so the hoppers actually pick up because it's on the very edge of the block. So all of the nuggets and the ingots go through here, and the swords and the rotten flesh go in there. So yeah, really, really awesome. It took a little while to build, I'll be honest. It was quite tedious having to copy it over bit by bit because I had no idea how any of this worked really, but yeah, not too bad. I just had to keep going back to the base a couple of times because I kept needing more things as I built more and more. But I think what we're going to do now is do a proper test, you know, maybe 15 minutes worth. I'm just going to swing my sword, see if it can keep up, and we'll see what kind of drops we get as well. There we go. I think that will do. That was maybe just under 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. I'm not really sure. I kind of lost track with making that little bit you just saw there, but let's hop down and take a look at the drops. In theory, it should be the same as normal, just without the hassle of me having to search through all the items. So that right there is meant to be only gold ingots, so I'm not really sure how those have got in. Maybe that was just before I added in a sorter, but whoa, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm assuming it's going to get less and less the further we go down, but yeah, that's pretty good. Let me turn all this into gold blocks and we can see what we got. And we get 38 gold blocks for 10 to 15 minutes worth of waiting, and I don't really have to do anything other than swing my sword. Now obviously there are those drops that are going to despawn, but it's not really that big of a deal when we can get this much. Something I forgot to add in, which I've just realized now, is actually the way to switch out these honey blocks for some solid blocks, so I can turn it into AFK mode and go stand up there on my platform, if you can see that. But I don't really want to AFK with this farm. I'd rather use my looting and get the XP as well, so I may do that at some point, but for right now we're going to go ahead and do something else, which is actually going to be to, again, head into the overworld and come back to our portal over here. As I said, I'm really happy with how this actually looks as a portal design, but I feel like the surrounding area is a little bit lackluster. I think we could do with adding in a little bit of custom landscaping and getting maybe some flowers in place, possibly do a bit of terraforming. I did have a terraforming itch that I wanted to scratch, but unfortunately I tried to do it with a giant volcano. Something a bit smaller like this might be able to do that for me. So yeah, I'm gonna have a mess around here and see if we can make this place look really pretty. So this, everybody, is what I have created. We're going with a little bit of a Japanese garden inspired build here, and I think it suits the portal so well if you ask me. I think the colors all work really well together. I've done a little bit of terraforming, as you can see on the outside. Let's take a further away look again, but yeah, kind of built up. Oh, Piglin, you're ruining the look of it. Yeah, kind of like built up a little... I don't really know what this is. I just quite like the look of it. I don't know how to explain how the actual, terrain works around here, but I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, we got that going around the outside and kind of enclose this little garden, as I said. So we've got some cherry blossom trees here. Now, I've never built these before, but I thought it's kind of like got a bit of a mystical vibe to it. So I thought we'd go for some glass instead of wool or whatever else you would use. So this is pink and magenta with some of the stripped dark oak logs in there. So we got two of them, one over there and the other is here. A little bit of a pond that we have to jump over, and yeah, everything else is basically just bone meal and blue, white, purple, pinky flowers, trying to keep with the same color palette as everything else we've got going on here. So that, I would say, is much better looking than it was before. Let's take a faraway look again, and maybe we'll do a bit of a non-optifine zoom. Hopefully someday soon we'll have this, but yeah, that is looking really cool if you ask me. And this is how it looks at nighttime for those of you who are wondering. What I want to do now is actually set up something I've been meaning to pretty much since I first started this world, and that is a flower farm, because I use flowers quite a lot. Obviously we're not too much at the moment aside from what we just did over there, because well, we're in the Nether and there's no real use for flowers over there, but usually in the overworld I will use flowers all the time for decoration. We have lots in the village over there, and my source of flowers at the moment is just getting them from my own flower forest biome here where my base is set up, which probably isn't a good idea to have my source being just destroying the landscape around me. So I'm gonna set up something probably just nearby here, to be honest, and that way I won't have to make my flower forest into a normal forest over the course of this world. I'm not sure how many of you will actually be aware of the location I've built my flower farm in. So this is my starter house. I still live here and probably will for a very long time to come, but I'm sure most of you guys knew of that already. But what you might not be aware of is we have a little bit of a water cave over here with a mysterious floating upper lilac flower, so that's cool. But I think we did this on a live stream, and I'm honestly not sure if I ever showed it in a video. We got a little bridge going across to a minecart, which I have left down the bottom, as you can see. Whoopsie. But this is where my mines are. They are honestly not in use because I don't use them anymore. I don't need mines. But the thing through here is, well, I know you guys have seen the beacon before because you can always see the beam just shooting up through the sky, but this is where I go and collect stone if I need it. Just need regular stone or cobblestone. This is where I go and dig, and I've decided to build the flower farm here. Now, I made a slight mistake with this, but first things first, this is a design by Shulkercraft, I think is the YouTube channel, so another link in the description for this one again. It's really cool, not going to show you because it's super loud, but made a slight mistake, and it mainly produces, which is the chest, pink tulips, a little bit of oxeye daisies, and some white tulips as well. I thought I located this in a position, or positioned this in a location, I should say, where I was going to get a wider spread, but that is not the case. This noise, by the way, is just the seeds going through the composter to give me some more bone meal, as you can see in a second. There it is. So yeah, maybe I'll do this again another time. I don't need flowers as of just yet, but I'm fairly certain I can actually replace this middle block here with one of the Nylium blocks, and I'll be able to get some of the nether blocks, like the nether roots and the fungi and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not all for nothing, but if I need pink tulips, I got a good supply over here. That, everybody, is unfortunately all I have time for today, so we're gonna have to wrap up the episode here. I apologize for it being a little bit of a weird one, perhaps. I really wish we could have done that mega volcano, but as I said, we'll have to save that project for another day. We instead did some little things and also made a really cool nether portal, so I hope you guys did enjoy this build and the entire episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.